Hello and welcome to how I play my level 60 Necromancer. Alright, so we're here on Yerd, who is on my level 60 Necromancer Antique. So we're going to go over spells, we're going to go over some of the hotbar, which if you watch the 50 and you watch the 55 videos, this is a carry on to those. So we're not going to go into a lot of details on a lot of stuff, but we're going to talk about the spell lineup I use and everything about that. So let's get started here. So I use a life tap. As I covered in the 55 video, I use the highest single target, single instant duration life tap we have, which is 708 hit points right now, which is fairly good, right? A little bit of a long cast, but it's a instant recast. If I can cast it and get it off, I can tank anything that hits less than 700 HP. It's insane. Next up, I have Envenom Bolt. So this has been on my bar since I got it at level 50, and it is a phenomenal spell. This will be the bread and butter of our damage for a little while until we get an upgrade to it. Next up, I have Devouring Darkness, which is just the highest level snare we have. It's a high cost on mana, but I find it still worth casting. It's 123 damage per tick for a minute plus the snare. I love it. Pyro Kuro, or Kurio, however you say that. This is our current level fire nuke, or fire dot, I mean. It does 160 per tick for 48 seconds. Not too bad, right? It's, decent ratio. Lands on a lot of things. It's got a negative 100 fire check, so it lands a lot. I think this one lands on raid mobs fairly easy. Not 100% sure, though. And then we have Vexing Mordinia. Now, this is our duration life tap, and I kind of like this one. I haven't been using any of the duration life taps until this point. I just didn't like them. This one, it's high mana cost, but it will do 122 per tick and heal me for 100% of that damage. So it heals me for 122 per tick, which is a nice amount of health. You can see here with Demi Lich on, my health is slowly draining away. I'm losing 3 HP per tick, or whatever that equates to, right? Maybe now I'm not losing. I don't know. We'll see. But it helps. I use it on very specific encounters that I feel like I need it. Not as much as you'd think, but I didn't know what else to put there. So next I have Screaming Terror. This is our level 22 mez. This is the only mez we have at this point. And this will mez up to level 55 for 18 to 24 seconds, depending on how things work. I don't know. I don't know why it goes from 18 and you mouse over it, it says 24. There's something going on there, but this is one of my favorite spells for saving the day in groups and making sure everybody is a-okay. Just, help out the enchanter, help out the druid who's charming, whatever it is. And then I have Feign Death. This is our get out of jail free card. Pretty much just Feign Death. I failed that one, so Yerd fell to the ground. So, it works most of the time. Makes doing things really easy. Like, you can do some crazy stuff on a Necromancer, and Feign Death is really helpful for that. And I don't even have my full spells. Something got changed there. And then I do have Immobilize. This is our level 58 root. Now, if I'm charming, I'm going to have charm there. If I'm not charming, I have root. And this allows us to do more kind of crowd control in certain cases. Like a lot of the times I get into groups that are kind of crazy set up because, it's not, I'm not one of the Holy Trinity classes, right? So I'm not a tank, I'm not a healer, and I'm not an enchanter. Now, so that gets me into, you know, other kind of groups that are less optimal for certain things. So you need to bring more tools to the tool, you know, tools out of your toolkit, right? So being able to root like a mob here, root a mob here, while the group is fighting right here, right? That's something we can do. And being able to like throw a heal over the dot over time on one of the rooted mobs while it's over here doing its thing, right? Taking damage from that. The group's fighting the mob and stuff like that. So you kind of like heal yourself. You can kind of work through it. We'll talk about the pet here in a minute. But if I'm charming, on the other hand, I'm gonna have Thrall Bones. And Slave Death is not a everyday charm. This is a 30-second duration charm that will do some stuff, but it is not an everyday charm. So I would have Thrall Bones, and I'd be charming, which would be, you know, normal, right? Like a lot of work I do is charming. It just depends. But if I'm not charming, I'm gonna be playing more of a support role in most cases. But that's the normal everyday spells I use. We use Demi-Lich as our Lich spell. You can see here I'm just like draining health, even though I have like I think 26 or 27 health regen. It still drains through it. I have 63 mana regen right now, which is phenomenal. So always have Demi-Lich on. I use the Emissary of Thule as my summoned pet. At 60, we got it. Well, on the way from 55 to 60, we got a few pets, and they all suck. Servant of Bones, Minion of Shadows. I used Invoke Death until I got Emissary of Thule. Is pretty much how that goes, and Emissary of Thule is just a phenomenal pet. I've had him. He can like solo frogs in Guck. It's kind of cool. It's funny. Then we have a pet buff, Augmentation of Death. That is, you want to keep your pet buffed at all times. This will land on your charmed pet. This will land on your summoned pet. You want to use it at all times. Now, let's look at the tooltip here, right? It's, you know, it's strength, attack speed, armor class. Just makes them a little bit better. It's not, a whole lot better, but it works. In Velius, in the next expansion, we're going to get an upgrade to that, so that'll be something to look forward to. And then I do keep a Shield of the Magi up at all times, which is our HP buff, armor class buff, magic resistant buff, self only that we get, all casters get. We don't get an upgrade for that until I think Planes of Power, so keep it up at all times. Let's see here. I believe that is all the spells I switch in and out. So let's start. Like my hotbar here is literally just how the way I want to cast my spells. So I mostly hit 2. So I have the poison dot on both numpad and 2. So if I'm using my hand or if I'm using my mouse, it just depends on what I'm doing at the time and how much effort I'm putting into it. And then I just have all the rest of the dots, and then I keep snare on 5. And then I have a charm hotkey, which just uses the extended target window to try to charm whatever my pet is. I have to change this to the mark that it uses, but typically it works pretty well for that. It just saves me from having to click it over here or find it in the crowd of mobs. Then I have root here, so I can hit a button to root versus clicking it. Just makes it easier. Then I have Screaming Terror and Feign Death, plus my J boots. Always be running as fast as you can. Standard assist macro here. assist, stands up, sends the pet in. Pretty standard. I find standing up really helps with getting that initial aggro from when you send the pet in. If you're sitting, I tend to pull the mob off, whoever is tanking. And then just another feign death button here, just for easy convenience, and then Circuit of Shadows for instant invis. Then a sit one. Yeah, then everything else is pretty much the same as it has always been since probably level 10. Like, I don't really change these much. Everything else is here the same, just simple little macros to cast Mim a spell, cast it, and go back to my normal spell set for all the different buffs that I cast. I do this on all my characters just to save me time, so I can, like, if I'm true boxing, like on this server, right, if say I want to do my shield, I can click it on this character here, switch my hand to another mouse on a different screen, click it on there for whatever that character's buff is, so I don't have to think about, you know, oh, I gotta go back, I mim the spell, but I gotta cast it, now I gotta do this, now I gotta switch back to my other spell set. This just does it all for me in one button. But yeah, now gear wise, the best gear you can get right now is the tower gear. You can see here it is, you know, way out of Kunark, right? This is like Planes of Power-esque power. Maybe Planes of Power group. Well, yeah, let's say that, because Velius raid gear is 100 HP. So this is significantly better, and definitely worth having, right? You can see here my stats are well into the comfortable range of almost being maxed out, with buffs from like a shaman or any of the other buffing classes. Like I'm capped out, right? My intelligence is capped out by a little bit, so I could drop some intelligence for more stamina, which is something I probably will do. But yeah, it's definitely that. It's the best that you can get. And then the charm here gets stronger as you do more of these rogue missions. But yeah, so the gear is what it is. I don't raid, so this is the best gear I can get. So it is what it is. But that is everything about the Necromancer, right? Like, this is the strongest class in the game. I believe at this point, I can't imagine anything stronger now. You could argue that an Enchanter might be a little stronger, but Enchanter can't heal themselves, and a Necromancer can. A Necromancer can snare, heal themselves, they can charm, they can mez, they can root, they can dot. It's pretty crazy. I don't see any downside to being a Necromancer. I thought it would be hard to get a group as a DPS class. I did not have any problems getting groups, and I don't have any, like, I had a perma group for a while, but it broke up, and it's, you know, it wasn't as hard to, like, I just put on, you know, looking for group, like so, and then you know, looking for group on, and I got invites, right? That's how I did it. It wasn't hard. It's very easy. If I was a tank, I would have probably made groups, but being a Necromancer, I thought it would be harder. But as a charm class, it is apparently easy to get groups. So there we go. But that is how I play my level 60 Necromancer. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I will respond to your comments. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.